Welcome back. It's Yellowhammer Radio, Superstation 101 WYDE. She's Andrea Tice. I'm Scott Chambers. Down to the final 11 minutes of the program. Justin Harris joins us today in for Cord Sex. How are you today, Justin?
Oh, man, they're terrific. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for being here, man.
Good to have you on board.
Well, we've been talking to Cord each and every week. Some great topics always. And today, Justin, I understand we're going to talk about how to keep your best employees. Is that right?
That's exactly right. I mean, I just think about, and I mean, people listening know how much it costs to lose an awesome team member and then have to replace them. I mean, it's just a massive pain in the neck.
Yeah.
It costs so much money. And so, just thinking about this is absolutely critical. And I think most organizations that are out there, whenever they think about losing a great team member, it just gives them heartburn, right? And so it's definitely a big problem we got to solve.
Well, Justin, how can an organization keep its best people?
Well, here's the thing. Most people just kind of think it's all about the money. And this goes way back to, like, the industrial age in terms of the way people treat employees. Money is important, but people are more than just widgets, right? They're more than just things that you plug into a system. That's important. People want to be paid a fair wage, but once you pass that, it actually has very little to do with money. I mean, let me ask you guys a question. I mean, take just a minute. Tell me about your favorite teacher or coach that you guys have had. What were some of the things that they did to make you want to follow them?
The best teacher I had was also the one I hated the most because she pushed me and made me do a lot more than I ever wanted to do.
Right. Well, yeah, that's huge. I mean, I think about that. I mean, most teachers or coaches that you think about in the past, they pushed you, they challenged you. So it wasn't just an easy street, right? So it wasn't just, so keeping employees isn't just about letting them just kind of chill and do whatever they want to do. They typically are, you were pushed, you were challenged, you were encouraged. They probably gave you what you needed to succeed. And if I'm asking an employee that, or if I'm even thinking about that myself, does that sound that much different than what you need in the job now to make you want to stick around?
Right.
I mean, just like when you were a kid, it's very, very similar to that. Some of those same needs.
But you're not saying necessarily, right, Justin, that employers need to treat their people like children. I'm not. That's not what I'm hearing.
No, you're not hearing that. Actually, I'll say yes and no. Okay, so because nobody loves the helicopter parents, right? In the same way, nobody likes a micromanaging boss.
Oh,
right.
But here's a really neat thing. People's deep desires, though, they don't change, right? As an adult, just like when I was a kid, I need to know that you think, if you're my boss, that I have what it takes, right? That you're going to empower me to do my job well, that you're going to give me what I need to succeed, that you believe that I play an important part on the team and you communicate that to me, and that you can push me to do things that I maybe didn't think I could otherwise do. And if you think about that list, all those things, are just like what I needed when I was a kid, outside of the micromanagement, right? Give me some autonomy. And none of those things have anything to do with money. Which I think is a really, really key thing that people listening, if you're employed, if you're part of a team, you're leading a team, that's critical. People need to be paid a fair wage, but once you get past that, it's so much more than that.
You said something about deep desires there. Well, what do you mean exactly by deep desires?
Well, I think it's understanding a couple things. Number one, this kind of goes back to some worldview stuff. Believing that if you believe that people are made in God's image, if they were created for a purpose, and I believe that everybody's created for a purpose, and what I think that means is that all of us have some deep desires that we want to have met in our lives. And this can be, you can translate this from being a boss, being a really good manager, to just being a parent. I want to understand that my child or whoever's working for me, they've got these deep desires. They want to be a part of, they want to have purpose, right? They want to have meaning in life. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to know that they have what it takes to come through, right? They want to know to be challenged, to do things that maybe they didn't think were possible. These are like deep-seated desires. People want to belong, right? They want to have an impact. These are deep-seated desires that no matter your age, right? We talk a lot about how do you keep a millennial or how do you keep a boomer or a Gen Xer. All those, it translates and really throughout every generation. And so as you're engaging your employees and you want to keep the good ones, do you really know what they want? I mean, do you understand? Are you communicating to them the purpose behind what you do? That's the why. Do they feel like they're doing that? Do they feel like they're connected to the team? What are you doing to make sure there's a deep connection between your team members? Things like that. Those are what it really means to really tap into someone's deep desires. I mean, again, the surface desires are things like money, right? But once you break through that level, people are looking for something more if they want to stick around for a while.
So, Justin, you kind of dove into this really deep undercurrent desire, as you put it, that kind of crosses and spans all generations and backgrounds and genders and experiences. So why is it that most employers don't get this, they haven't tapped into it or figured it out at some point? Why are they missing this?
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, they don't teach this in business school. I mean, this is not something to have. I mean, just kind of the psychological underpinning of this stuff they don't teach in business school. But then number two, it goes back to what I mean, we just need to do a little history lesson. If we go back to the industrial age, what people became within these really large organizations. I mean, guys like Henry Ford and some of those guys brought some amazing systems and efficiencies to work. But what they also began to treat people like were just cogs in that wheel, right? Just pieces of the system. And once you start doing that, people are beginning to be treated like commodities, which is, hey, if we just pay them the right wage and do a couple of, 2 or 3 things, and they'll just stick around. Well, that's not how people operate anymore. There's tons of opportunity. And if you really want to maximize who people are, I mean, you just have to realize they're not horses, right? I mean, if you just wave the right carrot in front of them, I mean, those types of things work short term. But they don't work long term. I mean, they're not long term solutions to keeping people around. I mean, you need to understand things like what Daniel Pink talked about in his book Drive. People long for that. They want to know why. They want to have purpose. They want to have mastery. They want to get better and be challenged to get better at their job. And they want autonomy. They want the ability to think for themselves and really engage the team in a way that they feel like they can have a real impact. So those are some key things. But again, they use something in business school these days, right? This is deeper than that.
So you're saying, here you say that there's a need for autonomy more than economy. Yes, the economy gets met, the money gets met, but there's something deeper at play that we should all be aware of if we're going to want to have employees that last for a long time. You can get them for
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know. I think you can pay an employee enough that they just are going to be happy. I mean, we're talking mega bucks, though.
That's right. Well, there's a level where you can pay people enough money to endure, but where the 80% of the rest of us that can probably go, if they're a good employee, they can go get another job with comparable pay or maybe a little bit more. What they're going to say is, I mean, are they going to work for your company, or are they going to work for the company next door? Right. And the way to keep them is really to think about, okay, how do we go a level deeper than just these surface things?
Exactly.
Right? How do we as an organization tap into something a little bit deeper here? And if you do, I really think you can really garner loyalty for a long time.
I know,
which is really exciting.
Justin, I know that Scott was saying mostly tongue-in-cheek.
There was tongue-in-cheek, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're miserable, you're not going to perform well.
Right. You can't do it over the long haul.
No, absolutely not. Short term, that's fine, but long haul, no.
Yeah. I agree, because there are certain jobs that I have just observed from a distance, and I think, oh, there is no way, I don't care what their paycheck is, it would not challenge me in a way that I could stick with it for long term.
And there are jobs, too, that I absolutely would adore, that I would love to have. Being a pilot, I would love that. It just doesn't pay enough. Can't make a living. Like you might like something, but and I've had jobs that I absolutely love, but doesn't pay enough. So there has to be that balance there, right, Justin?
Absolutely. You got to understand whatever the market value is and make sure you're paying a fair wage. I mean, that is critical, because if you're not, people are going to leave because their just basic needs aren't met. But once you pass that level, then it takes on a new meaning. These other things really come into play.
Very interesting stuff. Justin, we appreciate you being here today for Cord. Tell us how people can get in touch with you guys at Fireseed so you can help other businesses and business owners be better in what they do.
Absolutely. I obviously would love to help any organization with recruiting, with leader development. The best way to find us is to go to fireseeds.com, and there you can look at all of our services and really see how we can serve you.
All right, fireseeds.com. Justin Harris, pleasure talking to you again in for Cord today. Maybe we'll talk to you again soon. All right, Justin Harris from Fire Seeds. Appreciate him being on. Andrea, big show coming up tomorrow. Ed Henry's going to hold a press conference at the RNC headquarters in Hoover tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
The state Republican headquarters at 4:45 to apparently talk about allegations against Luther Strange and more about his campaign. You know, there have been some rumors he might possibly drop out.
Yeah,
Doesn't appear
yeah.
to be the case. And
Okay,
so Ed
well,
Henry's going to
we
release
don't know.
that tomorrow. So we're going to cover that on the show.
Okay, that's going to be after our show, though. Did
Yeah,
you say
we'll talk about it, break it down on the show. He's released a press conference, released a statement about that today. All right, we're out of here. The line's up next. God bless. Have a good day. Next, God bless.